Good day, everyone. How are you today? I hope you're fine. I hope you're good. Are you staying safe? I hope you're washing your hands with soap and water. And I hope you're using your hand sanitizer. Okay, today we're looking at the subject numeracy, and our topic is estimation. Our topic is estimation. Before we move on to our topic, we want to look at what we did previously. Previously, we had the topic measuring length and weight. We said there that length is the distance between 2 points, and we said weight is used to measure how heavy an object or a thing is. Today we are moving into estimation. What is our learner's objective? Okay, learner's objective. At the end of the lesson, pupils should be able to define estimation. Round up a number to the nearest tens, hundred, and thousand. We're going to be learning a lot here, and I would love you to pay attention so I can get it once and for all. Okay, let's move to what is estimation. What do we mean by estimation? Estimation, which is the same as rounding off, is the process of making an estimate of an amount of a number. Estimation also means the same thing as rounding off, and it is the process of making an estimate of an amount of a number. When you estimate, when you kind of approximate, you round it up to a number. And it can also mean a way of rounding figures off to a whole number. When you round it up, make it complete. Like you want to ask them, mommy, for 150 naira to buy maybe biscuits, and mommy said, okay, let me give you 200. She rounded it up for you so that you can enjoy the remaining 50 naira change which you have on it. Now we can see here the estimation also means rounding off, and it can also mean approximation. So now let's move to our table. This table is a number line table. You can see there we have on the number line 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the left corner. That tells us that any number that we want to round up that falls between 0 to 4, that number will remain 0, and you will add it to the next number. I hope you will me. I'll take it again. The number between 0, the numbers that falls between 0, 1, the numbers that falls on and between 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. They remain at 0 when you're rounding it off, and you add it to the next. The same thing at the other part, where we have the number line 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. You change it to 1 and add it to the next number which you want to round up. You add it to the next number which you want to round up. Now let's move to our examples, because this is where we have a lot of work to do. Let me bring down my screen. Now, in our learner's objective, you remember that we were told that we are going to estimate or round up to the nearest tens, hundred, and thousand. So that's what we want to quickly look at right now. That's what we want to look at right now. Examples of rounding up of to the nearest tens. Examples of rounding up to the nearest tens. Okay, are you with me? The first one says estimate 59 to the nearest tens. Estimate 59 to the nearest tens. Now, looking at the table that we have, the first aspect of it, we have 5 and we have 9. 5 stands for tens and the 9 stands for unit. We are rounding up to the nearest tens. Your 9 falls on the number line which was on the right side. Remember that we said that once your number is from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, it means you can change it to 1 and add it to the number in front. We are rounding up to the nearest 10, so the number that determines what will round up is the unit, since it's the tens we're rounding up to. So now 9 will determine if we are going to change to 1 or it will change to 0. So since 9 is between 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, it will change to 1 and we'll add the 1 to the tens. That's what we have underneath 59 that is under T and U. Do you understand? So that will make your answer to be 5 plus 1 will be what? 6. That will be 6 under tens. And you have 0 under unit, making 60, which is your answer. If you still look at that number 1, there's an arrow that points to the other side. It means there are 2 ways to solving this question. You can bring out your tens. 5 tens is 50. 9 units remains 9. So 50 plus 9. Now, something about rounding off. When your unit is more than 5 and above, it can now change to 10. That's the rule. It can change to 10. Since you have separated tens from units, it can change to 10. Now, in changing to 10 now, you now add your 10 to your 50, which will give you 60. So you can decide to use any of the 2 methods, whichever you understand better. Is that clear? So if that 9 was 5, it will also change to 10. Now add to 50. It will now mean what? 60. If that 9 is 6, it means that it will change to 10. Add to what? 50, make 60. If the 9 is 7 or 8, it will change to 10 and add to 50, making 60. But if that 9 is 4, 3, 2, 1, it will change to 0. Add to 50, it will now remain 50. I hope you're getting it. Okay. Now let's move to the next example. The second example that we have 135. 135, estimate 135 to the nearest tens. We have 100, 3 tens, and 5 units. 100, 3 tens, and 5 units. Now, using the first method, look at the first method which we're looking at. The 5 stands for the unit, the 3 stands for the tens, and 1 stands for 100. Remember, we are rounding up to the nearest tens. What will determine the nearest tens is the word the unit. What will determine the tens, the nearest tens is the word unit. Now, what do we have under unit? Under unit there we have 5. Remember that once your number that you are rounding up is 5 or more than 5, you can change it to 1 and add it to the 1 in your tens. That means that the 5 will change to 0, round up to 1, add the 1 to your tens. I hope you're getting it. I'll take it one more time. Your 5 is up to 5 and it's more than 5, so you change it to 1, add it to your tens. That makes 3 plus 1. That will be what? 4. It means that your tens will now change to 4. That will now be 140. Are you with me? 140. That's what we have at the end there. Down there. Now, another way we can go about this is after the arrow, where we'll split them out to be 100 plus 30 plus 5. Split out your 1 under 100, that's 100, your 3 under tens, that's 30, and your 5 under units, which is the 5. Now, since we are rounding up to the nearest tens, what determines the tens is your unit. What determines your tens is your what? Unit. So now, since your unit is 5 and is greater than 5 or is up to 5, we change it to 10. We are looking at the other side now. Since we have separated 100, tens, and units, so that 5 we change to what? Tens, because it's up to 5. If we change to 10, now the 10 we add it to 30, it becomes what? 40. Now add your 40 to your 100, it becomes your what? 140. Don't get confused. Nearest tens. The answer to nearest tens is determined by the what? Unit. Don't let the 100 confuse you. Now we'll move to the third example. I'll take the first one first, then I'll take the other one after the red arrow. Okay. Round off 783 to the nearest tens. Round off 783 to the nearest tens. HTU. 7 stands for 100, 8 stands for tens, and 3 stands for what? Unit. Now, our unit is what? 3. What determines our nearest tens is our what? The one behind it, which is what? Unit. Now, the unit, is it up to 5? No. Don't forget that for you to change to 1, it has to be up to 5 or more than 5. So since it's not up to 5, it becomes what? To change to 0. That means we'll now say 0 plus 8 for tens. And your 3 will still change back to what? 0 after making use of it. So we now have 7, 8 plus 0, which is what? 8, then 0. That will be what? 780. So simple. But if that 3 was 6, 5, 7, 8, 9, you need to change to 1. It will now be 8 plus 1. That will be what? 9. Making 790. But because it's not up to 5, it can't change. It remains what? 0. Are you with me? Okay, good. Let's take the other side of the example. Now, let's take the other side. You know, we have to space them out. You have to spread them out. I have to take my time so that you understand it properly. We'll bring out our 700. 7 under 100 means 700. That's 700. Plus 8 under tens is what? 80, which is what? 80. Plus our 3 under unit is what? 3. Just 3. Now, rounding up to the nearest tens. That 3 is now up to 5. It changed to what? 0. It now makes 700 plus 80 plus 0. But if it is up to 5 or more than 5, it will change to 10. You now add to 80. You now add it now to 700. But since it's not up to 5, it changes to 0. And our answer will be what? 700 plus 80 plus 0. That will give us 780. I hope you get that. Okay. So that is rounding off to the nearest 10. Now I want to move to rounding up to the nearest 100. Are you with me? Okay. Rounding up to the nearest 100. Okay. Yeah. First question says, estimate 483 to the nearest 100. 483 to the nearest 100. Now, we're rounding up to the nearest 100. What determines the nearest 100 is tens. The last one was the nearest tens. What determines the nearest tens is the one behind tens, which was what? Unit. Now, what determines the nearest 100 is the one behind 100, which is what? Tens. Are you with me? So now we have 483. Rounding up 483 to the nearest tens. 483. Now, 8. Is it up to 5 or more than 5? Yes, it's more than 5. So it will change to 1. Add it to your 100. Are you getting it? Yes, that's the logic. So since it's more than 5, it changes to 1. Add it to your 100. That will be 4 plus 1. We make 5. Then the rest change to 0, 0. We don't need those ones again. It will disappear into the 10 here. Now making 5 under 100, 0 under tens, and 0 under unit, making 500. Beautiful. Let's move to the other side of the arrow. 400 is 400, 8 tens is 80, and 3 units is 3. Now we're rounding up to the nearest 100, and what determines the nearest 100 is your tens. If my tens is up to, since we are now in 100, and what determines 100 is our tens. So if your tens is up to 50 and above, that's 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, you will change it to 100 since it is 100. Are you with me? I'll take it one more time. If your tens is up to 50 or more than 50, that's 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, you will change it to 100 and add it to your 100. Now we can say that our tens is what? 80. It means it is more than 50. So we change it to what? 100. That's why you can see underneath it 400 plus 100 plus 0. So 400 plus 100 is what? 500. 500 plus 0 is what? 500. Are you with me? Don't forget that the 3 there has to disappear because we don't need it again after rounding off. We'll move to the next example. If you have any question along the line, you can tell mommy to do a voice recording for you to ask your question. Count the number of the slide. This should be slide number. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This should be the 5th slide. If your question is on slide 5, you say, Ma, my question is on slide 5, and you ask from the example. So I would like your mom can record the voice, and you can send it to me. I'll reply back. Is that okay? Okay, let's move to example 2. Estimate 825 to the nearest 100. To the nearest 100. 100 HTU. Now, 8 is for 100, 2 is for tens, and 5 is for what? Unit. Now, we're rounding up to the nearest 100, and what determined our estimation is the one behind it, which is what? Tens. Good. Now, what is our tens? Our tens is number 2. Now you ask yourself the question. Is 2 up to 5 or more than 5? No. Since it's not up to 5 or more than 5, it changes to what? 0. So it means to be 8 plus 0, that's 8. Then the 2 change to 0, and the 5 behind it also change to 0. They both disappear into the thing A when you estimate it. That means 8, 0, 0. That is what? 800. But if that 2 is up to 5 or more than 5, you need to change to 1 and add to 8. It will now be 8 plus 1. That will be 9. Then the rest will change back to 0. That will be 900, which is 900. But it's not up to 5. Okay. Let's look at the one behind the arrow. Don't forget we are doing nearest 100. Nearest 100. Now we have 8 under 100. That's 800. 2 under tens. That's 20. 5 under units, that is 5. Now, what determines our nearest 100 is our what? Tens. Are you with me? Okay. Now we have 800 plus 20 plus 5. Now, under our tens, is it up to 50? Is it up to 50 or more than 50? No. So it changes to what? 0. It will now be 0 plus 0, 0 plus 800. That will give us what? 800. Are you with me? Okay. I hope you're getting it. Good. Now move to the last example under rounding up to the nearest 100. Round off 2,673 to the nearest 100. That will be 1,100 tens and units. Now looking at it, you can see here 2 for 1,000, 6 for 100, 7 for tens, and 3 for units. We're rounding up to the nearest 100. What determines the rounding up to the nearest 100 is the one behind the 100, which is what? Tens. Good. Now, what number is under tens? Number 7. Number 7 is under our tens. So, since 7 is more than 5, what do? We change it to 1 and add it to our 100. What is under 100? 6. That will be 6 plus 1. It means that the remaining under tens will now be 0. Unit 2 will be what? 0. The both will disappear away. So your 2 under 1,000 will remain because we're not touching that. We're only rounding up to the nearest 100. So it will make 2. 6 plus 1, 7. 0, 0. That's 2700. That's 2,700. So simple. Okay, now let's look at the other way we can solve it out. 2 for 1,000 make 2,000, 6 for 100 make 600, 7 for tens make 70, and 300 units is what? 3. Rounding up to the nearest 100, what determines it is the one behind the 100, which is what? Your tens. Now, what do we have under tens? 70. Once you have 50 and above, it means you can change the word 100. So it is 70. So 70 can be changed to what? 100. You can see it change under it. We now have 2000 plus 600 plus 100 plus 3 and plus 0. Sorry, because the 3 will change to 0 to disappear into the thin air. So now we have 7 plus 100 will give us what? 100. 100 plus 600 will give us 700. And 700 plus 2000 will give us 2700. That is good. Okay. I hope you're not getting tired. We still have one more lap to go. One more lap to go. That is what? Examples of rounding up to the nearest thousand. Examples of rounding up to the nearest thousand. How do we go about this? Question 1. Estimate 1483 to the nearest thousand. Remember that when we're estimating for nearest tens, what determines it was behind the tens, which is what? Unit. For nearest 100, what determines the nearest 100 is the one behind the 100, which is the one? Tens. Now, for nearest thousand, what will determine nearest thousand will be the one behind the thousand, which is what? The 100. Very good. Now we have 100,000, 400, 800 tens, and 300 units. Now, what we are considering is our 400. Is 4 up to 5 or greater than 5? No. Since it is not, if we change to 0, we add the 0 to the 1, makes 1 plus 0. 1 plus 0 will give us what? 1. We then have 1 plus 0. That will give us 1. Then we have 1, 0, 0, 0. That will be what? 1000. Can you see this one? It's different a little from the one we are doing, then that it is not up to 5 and it is under 100. That is why it is different. Since we are rounding up to the nearest thousand, we consider the 100. Are you with me? Good. Okay, let's look at the other way we can do it. We have 100,000, that's 1,000. 400, that's 400. 800 tens, that's 80. 300 units, that is 3. Now, nearest thousand. What determines the nearest thousand is the one behind the thousand. That's what? 100. That is what? 100. So what do we have under 100? We have 400. Now, since it's 100, it means that if you have number from 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, like that, it can change to 1000. Since we are under 100, if you have any number from 500 and above, you can change it to 1000. But if it's not up to 500, it will change to 0. So now let's see, what do we have under 100? We have 400. 400 is not up to 500, so we change to what? 0. Our 82 will change to 0, and our 3 will change to 0 because we don't need them. The only one we need is the one under 100, which is not up to 500. So 0 plus 0, 0 plus 0, 0 becomes 0. Then 0 plus 1000, our answer will be what? 1000. You can see it's the same answer at the end. Okay, let's go to example 2. Example 2, we have to estimate 7,635 to the nearest thousand. Under 1,000 we have 7, under 100 6, under 10 3, and under 5, under unit 5. So sorry that it shifted a little, but I hope you get it. Okay, very good. Now we can see there that our 6 is under 100, and for nearest thousand, what will determine our nearest thousand is the 100, which is what? 6. 6 is bigger than 5, so that means that we can change our 6 to 1 and add it to our 1,000. That will make 7 plus 1, that will be what? 8, and the rest will change to 0 0 0. That makes what? 7 0 0 0, which make our final 7 plus 1, that's 8. 8 0 0 0. That makes our final answer to be what? 8,000. Why is it 8,000? Because our tens is 6 and it's bigger than 5. We change that 5 to 1, add it to our 1,000. 1 plus 7 makes 8, and the rest change to 0. Do you understand? Okay. Yes. Now, which other way can we do it? The second way we can do it is to expand them. 7 for 1,000 makes 7,000. 6 for 100 makes 600. 3 for tens makes 30. And 500 units makes 5. Now, what determines nearest 1,000 is the one behind it, which is what? 100. Now, this is 600. 600 is more than 500, yes or no? Yes, it is. So since it is more than 500, we'll change it to 1,000 and add it to 7,000. That makes 7,000 plus 1,000, that is what? 8,000. 8,000 plus 0 plus 0 is what? Still 8,000. That's how we have our final answer. So easy. Okay. Don't forget, if you don't understand any line, do a voice recording, send it to me, I will explain to you. Is that okay? Okay. Now we're moving on to rounding off 2076. 2076. Under 1,000 we have 2, under 100 we have 0, under tens we have 7, and under unit we have 3. Now, what determines nearest 1,000 is the one behind 1,000, which is what? 100. Now, 100 is 0. Is it up to 5? Is it more than 5? No. Means that it changed to 0. So we have 2 plus 0 gives us 2. And the remaining behind it, they all change to 0. So we have 2, 0, 0, 0. Makes our answer to be what? 2,000. So easy. When it's very, 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 very easy. Now let's look at another way we can do it. Another way you can do it is that your 2 represent 2,000, 1,000, that's 2,000. 0 represents 100, that's 0, 0, 0, 0. 7 represents 10, that's 70, and 3 represents unit, that's 3. So now, what determines our nearest 1,000 is the one behind 1,000, which is what? 100. What is 100? 0. Is 0 up to 5? No. It means that you change to what? 0. So by the time you say 2,000 plus 0, 0, 0 plus 0, 0 plus 0, our answer will still give us what? 2,000. That is how we arrive at our final answer. Okay, today we were able to look at estimation. I said estimation means rounding off. I'm trying to have a recap of what we've had in today's class. It's been a bit lengthy, but I think it's worth it at the end. We looked at estimation, and we said estimation is the same thing as rounding off and the same thing as approximation. We looked at estimation of rounding up to the nearest tens. I remember I told you that rounding up to the nearest tens, what determines nearest tens is your unit. If your unit is up to 5 or more than 5, change to 1, add it to your tens. We also look at examples of rounding up to the nearest 100, and we said what determines nearest 100 is your tens. If your tens is up to 5 or more than 5, change it to 1, add it to your 100. And we also look at examples of rounding off to the nearest 1,000, and what determines the nearest 1,000 is your 100. If your 100 is up to 5 or more than 5, you change it to 1, add it to your 1,000. So we've come to the end of today's class. I have class books. I have some exercises for you. Sorry, I have this exercise for you. It looks like the one you know, very familiar to the one you know. Yes. But we are looking at just 1A and 1B. 1A says match the description to the number. You are going to match A box to your correct box, B box to the correct box, C box to the correct box. Now round up to 3,000. Which one do you think we can round up to 3,000 here? Is it the first box on the other side, or second box, or the third one? I think it is the second box. That's 2,714, because 7 is more than 5. And since it's more than 5, it will change to 1, add it to 2. That will make 3,000. So you are going to match your A, round up to 3,000. You match it to 2,714. So you do the rest for me. It's also the same thing as the other side. It's the same thing as the other side. Round up to 3,000. I don't want to take to 3,000. I'm looking at one I should take. Okay, there are two 3,000 there. Round up to 3,000A. Look at the second box. Oh, I'm taking question 1B. Look at the second box that has, let's try and enlarge it, that has 1,000 plus 1,000 plus 100 plus 10. 1,000 plus 1,000 is 2,000, right? Are you with me? 2,000 plus 100, 2,100, right? 2,100 plus 10, that's 2,110. Add the down number, 1,111. 1,111. Now you're going to look at it. Which one can I round off to 3,000? Can I round it up to 3,000 or can I round it up to 4,000? Don't forget what will determine it is your 100. If your 100 is up to 5 or more than 5, you approximate to 3,000. Let me help you out with that second one that I'm taking. 1,000 plus 1,000 plus 1,000, that's 3,000. 100 plus 100, that's 200. I'm trying to add all the numbers there together in the second box on the right. We have 3,000, we have 200, we have 2 tens and 1 unit. So 3,000, it makes 3,221. Now 3,221, let's approximate to the nearest thousand. What determines the thousand is your 100, which is 2. Is 2 up to 5? No. So you add 0 to 3. 0 plus 3 remains what? 3. So the remaining changes to 0. That means that our answer, if you round it up, will be what? 3,000. So you are going to match the middle box to your round up to 3,000. I've done that for you. So the same thing in your A. On the box, the first one, 1A, the second box that is up, you are going to add up all those numbers before you round up. Don't forget. Now let's look at the second exercise. This one is more or less what I've taught you. Okay, you're going to round up to the nearest tens. Round up to the nearest tens. Sorry, I'm moving my camera up and down. Round up to the nearest tens. We have 2A, 2B, 2C, 2D. To the nearest tens, don't forget that it's your unit that matters. Your unit is what will determine your answer. The second one is round up to the nearest 100. Your tens is what matters here. Round up to the nearest 1,000. What matters here is your 100. Now, I understand the fact that this topic is a new one. You've not done it in your year 3. Just doing it now in year 4. But I still feel it's very easy. I would advise you to still go over the video, get used to it properly, then you can solve the question. But don't forget, if you have any question for me, make it a voice call, send it to me, and I'll be willing to answer you. Don't forget to pause your classwork, your exercise, pause your exercise and answer it in your notebook. Snap it once you're through and send to me. I've been receiving some of them. At least I've received Tiara Paul's work, I've received Tiara Shande's work, I've received Oba, I've received David's own, and I want to receive more. So please make sure you do your exercise. Don't forget, send your answers to my WhatsApp line. I'll be expecting them, and I will mark immediately and send it back to you. I know you will want to see the way I'm marking. It's so beautiful. So I miss you all. Hope to hear from you. See you some other time. Make sure you stay safe. Make sure you use your hand sanitizer and wash your hands properly. Stay indoors and remain blessed. So come your way next time. Bye bye. Love you all.